The Super ATV sealed door kit here. Step one is they want you to remove the factory hardware. So luckily I had doors on here previously, so I didn't have any of the security bars or the netting. However, you do have to remove the forward bolt here. It's a 15 millimeter, and you need a wrench on the other side to do that as well. And then this is a Torx down here. So once those two are removed, then you can start the installation component. The installation component is the first door frame. Now this is the driver's side. We were just on the passenger side. One thing that the instructions weren't completely clear about, and you kind of got to be a little creative, is which foam you want to use. So they give you two types of foam. They give you a thicker foam and a thinner foam. So for the driver's and passenger side, it is our belief that you're going to use the thicker foam. It just looks like it seals a lot better. And you're going to want to keep it nice and tight to the edge, because there are bolts that have to go through here to secure it to the actual frame of the Defender itself. All right, so we're gonna get that done, and we'll take a photo and a video of the finished product. Since we last left you guys, we got the hinge plate mounted up. So again, we took this off. This stock hardware for the roll cage goes back on. This is 15 mil on either side. Then coming down here, we rebolted this back up. I believe this is a Torx. I can't recall actually what size it was. Two additional pieces of hardware from Super ATV that's not stock are these two components here. What they do is they give you a bracket that goes around the back of the roll cage. If you want to just go in here and get a quick shot of that. So it's right here. So it comes around and strengthens this whole unit. So there's two of those. And that really sucks everything in nice and tight. What we actually did to save time was we put these hinges on the floor. Now they're not tight yet, so we've got a little bit of play in here. And when we hang the door, we're gonna look and see what we have to do in order to get the right fitment. So hang tight for that piece that's coming up. Moving to the front of the vehicle here, this is the hinge mounting bracket for the latch, excuse me. Again, pretty simple install. This is one of those insert nuts down here, goes where the stock location was. And then you've got another one of those kind of, if you come around here, one of those latches that comes around. I've got a BRP windshield. The fitment still works. You just got to modify it slightly by cutting the tab off, but it all goes together nicely. And we're about to hang the passenger side door first, see what kind of fitment we got, tighten everything down. Then we're going to do the driver's side, and then we're going to move to the back, start all over again.
Aside from my soul, there goes a sight, there goes a sight. Now there goes a sight from my soul. There goes a sight from my soul.
So last time we left you guys with putting the brackets together on both sides, both front, rear, as well as on that side over there. My suggestion is only tighten up the hardware that actually goes to the roll cage. Don't tighten up any of the hardware that's for the door itself. And then what you're going to want to do, it's a two-person job. You're going to want to hold the door in place. And you'll want to grease these pins. So what we did is we just used a little bit of lithium grease, or T40 will work as well. It just allows it to slide in easier. You're going to want to slide it in just like this here. All right, so don't put your gas shock on at all. Leave that, all that stuff. We'll address that later. Leave that off for a while. And then what you're going to do is you're going to have the door. You're going to set it in. It does take two people, one to do the top, the other one to do the bottom. Super ATV was actually really smart about this, is they made one of the pins a little bit smaller, so you can get that one started, and then the longer one can just kind of go right in. So once you get that all together, it's in. You've got now a functional door, which is nice. You can kind of see what the finished product looks like. Really where you're going to want to spend a lot of your time is getting the door to seal right. Not all Defenders are made with the same dimensions, whether you like to think that or not. So the doors probably won't fit as snug as you'd like on the initial get-go. So there's a few tricks to this. Super ATV alludes in their manual to leave these ones loose until the last stage, and quite honestly, that was one of the most helpful hints. That being said, loosen off these two here as well, and that's going to give you the most amount of play. So first thing we did was we got all this hardware loose enough, and if you kind of come over to the back here, you can see that these are just button nuts, hand tight. I believe they're 12 millimeter. So you're gonna just loosen those off or take them off completely. Now, the trick is you're gonna get somebody in the Defender and you're gonna set this latch up. Now, my recommendation is finger tight, and you're gonna do this. Open, close, open, close. As many times as possible. And what you're gonna wanna do is you wanna set it to be tight, but not so tight where you've gotta slam it. So you can see here, I can close it with one finger. It's perfectly fine, the latch is set. Once you get your latch where you want it to be, and leave this hardware still loose, you're gonna tighten that all up on the inside. And then that gives you the ability to shift this door. And you're gonna wanna really pay attention to the seal at the top, and then the seal along the side here. Once you get these corners all lined up, the bottom's actually gonna line up on its own. So the bottom's got a perfect seal in here, no issues at all. All right, then you're gonna tighten up this hardware first, while holding the door in place, and then you're gonna tighten up this hardware here, while your friend's in there putting the button nuts on the back. So that's how you seal the door nice and tight. That being said, Super ATV was actually super genius, and they included a ton of weather stripping for the areas that just can't seal. All right. So they give you enough weather stripping, quite honestly, do this twice. I will tell you, don't try and add any weather stripping to the roll cage. That's a porous type material and it just won't last. So that's why you spend so much time getting this rubber seal all included in here. Now you're gonna wanna put the sealing on the back of the door here for any backdraft. You'll see we did the same thing on the front door. We've got the seal here as well. Now, for areas that you just can't get it to seal correctly and you're fighting with the door for quite some time, one of the things that I've noticed is, get it close and then go for a drive. We drove this for about 2 or 3 hours now, and we were able to get a little more adjustment out of the doors themselves. And you can be finicky with them. You're not gonna get 100% seal. It is an off-road vehicle, but you'll get enough where it will be certainly, weather tight. We went through the river a few times, and after sitting there for a while, you did get some, water up in here, but it definitely kept out a lot of the elements. And that's the key with these doors, is you're gonna play with them over time. You're gonna adjust them, and you're gonna wanna get a seal. Most important thing is you're gonna wanna get a good seal on the front of all of these doors here. As you're driving, you can get going pretty fast on these things. Any little opening you have is gonna make a lot of noise, and also it's going to put a lot of air in your face. So really spend time on the front door to get that first seal here done really well. And for the areas that won't seal, use that really thick weather stripping that Super ATV provides. And what I had done on the passenger side is I had actually run some weather sealing down here and then down the front on the plastics. And that just helped with not only noise and vibration, but also it helped with the sealing of this particular door to keep the passenger's legs warm. Outside of that, the kit goes together quite easily. Once the doors are hung, obviously you're gonna put the gas shocks on. They're a nice complement. You can see they certainly push the door open quite vigorously, which is nice. The kit is very well manufactured. It's quite sturdy. The visibility, unlike a lot of the other doors out there, really helps. Anybody that's off-road, plowed, gone through any type of field, rock terrain, you want to see what's going on in the terrain. To be honest, your view outside of the farm is quite limited, and if you have anything down here, you can't see what's going on in here. This actually allows me to see my front tire. I can actually peek with the mirrors and see my back tire. So the visual on this kit is 100%. It's really well thought out and really well put together, and we've actually gone through some bush and some trees. One recommendation is please do not clean this with any of the products that you would typically clean a windshield with. As you can see, we do have debris on here. What I'll end up doing is I'll just wash it with water. Then I'll add some soap, not abrasive soap, and then I'll go over it with a microfiber towel wiping the same direction. I do anticipate that it will get scratches over time, but it seems to be quite durable and quite tough as we've gone through the bush already and there's no visible scratches. So that's my only recommendation. Other than that, excellent kit. 2 thumbs up.